Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, Autoloader Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Tier 8 Czechoslovakian autoloading medium, the Skoda T27. Now, this vehicle is currently undergoing testing in the World of Tanks Blitz servers, where you might actually go up against one. I've gone up against 3 or 4 of them now in public games, which is pretty dang cool. I've been able to see how it does perform, and yeah, it seems like quite a strong vehicle. So, of course, we're going to be going over the statistics of the tank in today's video. Now, if you want the best idea of what the tank's going to play like when it does enter the game, the T69 is a very good comparison because it carries a super quick auto-loading gun with 225 alpha for the 3 shells, dealing 675 in total, and it's able to dump all 3 of the shells out in a matter of 5 seconds, which is quick, but nowhere near the speed of the Skoda T27, which you will see is a whopping 1.5 interclip, and that means in total it only takes 3 seconds to dump the entire clip. 660 damage in 3 seconds. That is 2 whole seconds faster than the T69, which is currently the fastest auto-loading vehicle at Tier 8. Pretty dang impressive. And that's why I'm super pumped for this vehicle to come into the game, but I'm not sure how it's going to be balanced, so we're going to find out and get into the statistics right now. Now, one thing you definitely need to keep in mind is that this vehicle is undergoing super testing, which means that, the statistics can be subject to change, whether the vehicle is performing very good or very, very poor. So keep that in mind. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy, crazy amount. And I can keep you guys informed on the newest tanks and updates coming into the game. But without further ado, I'm going to stop you guys from waiting. Let's get into the statistics. Now, hit points, it's about average. It's 1,350. It's not as much as like the P44 Pantera, but it's still going to be decent. And if you're running the hit point buff, 1,431, yeah, it'll be able to take a couple shots, but not the most for the Tier 8 hit point pools. DPM as well is quite poor at 2,052 base. Yeah, that's very, very bad. A vehicle like the T69, if we go take a look at, is 2,291, which is really, really impressive for an autoloader. So yeah, the Skoda is a little bit poor on the DPM, especially you can imagine that this clip reload is long at 16.3 seconds. When you think about a vehicle like the T69 is able to take a longer dump at its shells, but yet still has more DPM. Yeah, the clip reload is the real killer. It's 16.3 seconds. When we compare that to the T69's clip reload, you'll see that this one at 12.68 is a whole 4 seconds faster. That's a massive amount of time. So while you do gain a massive chunk of damage when you are clipping, you will have to spend a lot of time and a big buffer spending 16 and almost a half seconds on that magazine reload. So it does kind of come back and bite you in the butt. Now, Wargaming, well, actually not Wargaming, but for some reason, people that Blitzhanger gave this tank rammer and calibrated. So yeah, the DPM, though, doesn't look like it really goes up, so I guess they kind of messed up the stats. I don't know. We'll just pretend it has calibrated on, because that's what I'd suggest to run this vehicle with. So with calibrated, the standard penetration is 204, which is pretty dang nice. That means that you will easily be able to penetrate all Tier 8 mediums, Tier 9 mediums, and you'll be able to penetrate most Tier 8 heavy tanks like IS-3s, the lower plate of a KV-4, and if you have to dab that Tukey, the 250 millimeters of premium pen isn't great, but it's also going to be enough to get through pretty much most Tier 8 opponents. Tier 9 is where you're going to struggle. Going through, let's say, like an ST1 or, you know, some of the other thick Tier 9 heavies like an E75, yeah, you're not going to be able to penetrate the lower plate of an E75 with this vehicle. That will be a big struggle. So that's one thing you got to keep in mind. But again, that massive clip dump is something that I really think is going to make this tank insanely strong, because in a matter of 3 seconds, that's 1, 2, 3. That is 660 damage, and then you back up. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this tank's going to be really strong with that super strong clip reload. Now, when we take a look at the gun handling, it's got a very nice base aiming time at 1.72 seconds. That's really good for an autoloader. However, the dispersion at 0.326, it's not great, but it's also not bad. You could run refined gun on the vehicle and make it 0.293, which wouldn't be too bad at all, or you could run the aiming time and get it down to, 1 or 0.136. So it's not going to be bad on the dispersion factors on movement, but it's not going to be great. It's going to be feeling a little bit clumsy, and that's not going to be great, especially look at the after shot. That's not good at all. That's quite poor. You want a good after-shot dispersion value because, yeah, this is a burst autoloader. So I'm not sure if Wargaming is going to be planning on fixing that, but currently it might struggle to hit its second and third shell when you are clipping in the vehicle. 8 degrees of gun depression, though, is very, very nice. That's going to make it flexible on pretty much any terrain you are working. That's going to be really, really good. Elevation of 20 degrees as well. Pretty dang flexible. So for a medium tank, it's going to be great on the gun depression and gun elevation angles. Turret reverse speed at 46, yeah, at average, so it's not going to struggle at all in the turret reverse speed. And the tank actually weighs a decent amount at 40 tons, which is quite impressive judging that it is a Czechoslovakian medium. Usually these vehicles don't have any armor, and we'll find out when we take a look at the armor down here if it does have any. The tank goes 50 forwards, very quick, and 20 in reverse. Now the reverse speed is going to make it really, really strong. The forward speed, yeah, it's about average for a medium. It's not the best, but that's what you expect from most of the mediums, especially on the Czechoslovakian line. They go about the 50s when they are in the tier 8 region. But the thing that makes this tank super strong is that reverse speed. The ability to clip somebody in 3 seconds and then instantly put in high gear reverse and back down the ridge or the hill, whatever you're using, is going to make this tank really good at getting out of tricky scenarios and dodging big ol' shells. So that's one thing that's going to be really good. And one thing I do want to check really quick is what is the HE? Ooh, 270. That's going to be quite nice. That means that if you get like the side of an RHM, bam, 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 yeah, that's going to hurt quite a bit. But I think they're also giving the RHM spall liner in the next update. I don't know. We'll have to see about the RHM in the next update. But back onto the vehicle. It's got a very good power to weight ratio of 22.03. And as well, on medium terrain, very good. So overall, it's going to be impressive on the power to weight. It may only go 50, but it will get up to that top speed very, very quickly. Kind of like the Moots, I'm thinking, on mobility. So very good there. Traverse speed at 58.32 isn't the best again, but it's a medium tank. So it's about average. I wouldn't say anything spectacular about it, but I wouldn't say anything poor either. It'll be mobile. That's all I can say for the mobility. It's not going to be slow, but it's not going to be very fast. The concealment, yeah, it's decent. It's 26%. So again, it's not great, but it's not bad. Most of the factors on this vehicle, apart from the gun, as you can see, are just meh. Like, it's not good on DPM, not good on aiming time, not good on dispersion, not good on mobility. It's just good all round. So that's the things about the tank. And when we take a look at the armor, yeah, it's pretty meh. Like, you can see the upper plate at 130, yeah, quite weak. And in fact, the lower plate is so weak that you can penetrate HEs on it if it is wedging it up like this. Yeah, good HE right through that lower plate. RHMs are going to be loving the HE on that. The turret, yeah, again, 119 millimeters, 137. Even using full gun depression, that upper plate is only 160. And the turret still at 144 has no armor. Even the mantlet, it's still quite weak. It's about 200-ish, but yeah, it really doesn't have armor. So this tank is going to be like a Lorraine 40T's armor. It's got none. The sides at 41 are easy HEs for even some of the smaller 90 millimeters. The rear at 55, quite weak as well. And with the rear only being about, what is it, 41? Or I think it's just 41. So with the rear being, or the sides being 41 millimeters thick, that means that, actually, wait, it might actually be less if we, yeah, it's 40. So if it's 40 millimeters thick, that means any shells 121 millimeters and higher will be able to completely overmatch the sides. That means if you're running, let's say, an IS-5, if it's angling like this and it's showing that side just like that, you will easily be able to penetrate that no matter what, because shell normalization and the 3 calibers rule takes into effect there. So pretty dang sweet. So what do I have to say about the tank overall? I think it's going to be good. I think that the clip reload is a killer, but the interclip is insane. This is the first true burst autoloader we have in the game. Yeah, I know I said that the Skoda T25 is a burst autoloader, but it's down at tier 5 or tier 6, should I say, which, yeah, I don't really find that impressive, because there's vehicles like the Stritzwagen as well that have a 1.5 interclip, and the Batchation, or not the Batchation, but the AMX 12T as well is a pretty nice clip down there, where this tank actually has a really impressive clip for the tier tat, and it's going to make it extremely unique. So personally, I think it's going to be a really good vehicle. I think it will be super strong in certain engagements, but at the same time, it has a lot of weaknesses. So I don't think it's OP. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think it needs to be nerfed, buffed, anything else like that. I would say a max price tag of this vehicle is $50, and that is a max. It's probably going to come out in crates because we know how wargaming is, and this is a new type of vehicle. So yeah, sadly, it's probably going to end up coming out in crates, but if it doesn't, I would suggest to spend at a max $50 US. Anything more than that, and it's not worth it. And even 50 is a very high price tag. The only reason I'm saying that is because usually tanks like this, when they come out for the first time in the store, come out for about $50. And that's why I'd say at a max, spend $50, nothing more, because that's a ridiculously high price tag already. I'd say this tank would be worth about $30. But hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, hopefully I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.